Now, it's time for Spotlight on Business, where every week we put the spotlight on a different local business so you can find out how they serve you and the community. Now from Michiana's Morning News, it's Laura Smith.
Welcome to the Style File and happy Father's Day. Someone who is a great dad and someone who has been really a docent and somebody very important to downtown Elkhart, Indiana, and his entire family for that matter. Danny Reynolds of Stephensons of Elkhart in business and, well, before we had cell phones, that's for sure. 94 years and counting. Incredible stuff. Happy Father's Day to you, Danny.
Thank you, Laura, and happy Father's Day to all the dads out there. Hopefully they're sitting around with a nice cold beverage wearing their brand new Stephensons 1931 shirt that they opened this morning for their Father's Day gift and just enjoying the day. So very happy Father's Day to all.
That's right. I was trying to remember the year, but then again, that's the name of the men's department in Stephensons of Elkhart, 1931. Gosh.
For me, we have to keep things simple like that.
Yeah, exactly. But no, I mean, you have such an amazing men's department in Stephensons. And this last week was such a zinger. So many incredible, iconic moments going down in Elkhart and all part of history. And of course, Stephensons is always a part of that. So do tell, how was the past big soiree of the Elkhart Jazz Festival plus your sidewalk sales?
38th annual Jazz Fest, and we've been proud to be a part of every one of those. And this year certainly didn't let down, from Larkin Poe Thursday to St. Paul and the Broken Bones on Saturday. What a blast. And of course, we like to tie our sidewalk sales in with that. And that way we're outside, we're on the streets, we're having a great time, soaking up some sun and just enjoying all the splendor of downtown Elkhart. So just a great time had by all, and certainly enjoying a day of rest on Sunday following all that action. And again, happy to celebrate all the great dads and the next generation that they're raising out there today. So
sure.
That actually leads me to where I think we want to go today. And in a moment, I'm going to introduce a very special surprise guest for the Style File. But I've just kind of encountered some things. You know me, I'm an observer of the world and how people sort of act, behave, move, and how that ultimately kind of ties back into what we do here, which is obviously very lifestyle oriented. And I've been kind of enjoying learning, seeing, watching, observing the way, generationally speaking, we're starting to see some changes in how people operate and how they live, and of course in our world, how they shop. And just yesterday I came across this fascinating article in Forbes, and so I'm going to read you a little piece of that, and then that's going to lead us where we're going today. So it starts out in 1999. Blockbuster was the dominant force in home entertainment, with each store stocking up to, get this, 10,000 physical VHS and DVD titles. Less than a decade later, Netflix made the model obsolete through digital streaming. In 2001, Apple's iPod famously put 1,000 songs in your pocket, eliminating the need for physical CDs, cassettes, and mixtapes. In 2004, the launch of Facebook's social media network shifted audiences' attention from curated editorial publications to social feeds. For over 2 decades, the emerging global narrative has been relentless digitalization, but the Gen Z are bringing back physical media. Unlike previous generations, young people in digitally connected countries don't remember a pre-internet age. Sadly, Laura, you and I both do. Before smartphones and social media algorithms, many are familiar with Netflix syndrome, where users end up spending more time browsing titles than watching content. Market fragmentation is also causing subscription burnout, as shows and movies are hosted across multiple platforms, requiring multiple paid subscriptions. So I'll stop there. And it's fascinating to me to think about what you and I, and probably many of your listeners out there, have witnessed essentially in the last 30, 35 years. It's nothing short of a technology revolution. The world has changed so fast in the last 3 decades that only seismic change like that, I think, can really change generational thinking and behavior. Generations is something I studied even way back in college. And it used to be, to define a generation in America, one thing was always present: war. war has what had been what defined generations in our country for each generation until we came along, the Generation X. We were defined more by television and sadly divorce. Now I really think it's digital innovation that has defined generations. So it's very curious to me how generations continue to consume their information. And I am fortunate to be surrounded by multiple generations, not only at home, but in my job as well. And with that, I'm going to introduce today's special guest, an esteemed member of Generation Z, ladies and gentlemen, Gray Reynolds,
Wow. That
aka my 18-year-old son.
yes. Who has if I remember correctly, just a few weeks ago, I was going shopping there and he was behind the counter with his sister, his grandmother, with you. And
Yes.
is that Gray? Honestly. So that wasn't just a one-time Saturday helping out dad. Is this something that is going to happen in your life? Are you going to become the next generation of Reynolds?
It's definitely in the talks, and I've just signed on as the brand new intern, so it's becoming more reasonable as time goes on. But yeah, I've just recently become very interested in retail and just sales in general, and I hadn't had a specific way I wanted to go about like high school and then college after that, and I think this gives me a real starting ground. And even if this isn't exactly what I go into, it will definitely help me for what I plan to do in the future.
Exactly. And so, well, interesting. It's obviously in your blood, the retail aspect of it. Your family, your wonderful grandparents, bought Stevenson's, was it 1964?
Correct.
Way before your time and even before your dad's time. And, but so when you say retail, I'm thinking, clothing stores and just, bookstores and things like that. But obviously for your generation, retail is probably a whole different type of thing. What are some of your main interests and how can you see putting them to use in retail?
Well, one thing, I just have always been a very outgoing person. I don't like the word extrovert because I've never really felt like that, but I just like really feed off people's attention. I like talking to people. I like meeting new people and just having conversations about life in general. And when I can apply it to something that's a good cause and everyone gets something out of it, I think it's overall really helped just like the people side. And then just retail in general. I mean, I've gone to so many stores at like the mall, like for example, where it just kind of, you walk in, you kind of buy something, you just kind of walk out. You don't interact with the usually like mid 20-year-old workers working there. And I think that that's honestly a really important part of shopping for me, is to like really connect with the person helping me. And I think that's something that I'd like to do with people who come in here.
Well, I
Well,
can
how about
tell you,
that? I
I'll
wasn't
tell
that
you
advanced
already.
in my thoughts at 18 years.
Well, first of all,
Still
to
not.
start things off, he already has a head start. He's got his dad's voice. Okay. So that'll help on any level. I love it when a young person has good command of their English skills, can look you in the eye. And of course, this is radio, but people don't know I can actually see you. We're on Zoom. And that is very interesting to me because having that type of personality where you really truly do like to interact with people. We were so afraid that your generation, Gray, wasn't even capable of it because you were so used to just communicating through a screen. And we thought, well, what's going to happen to our kids? They don't like to interface with the public. But you're saying something different.
So let me cut in here, Laura. That's very interesting you say that. Is that article that I was referencing a few minutes ago, when it goes on to say the ability to own a physical DVD gives people a sense of ownership and autonomy. Users can choose how to interact with the physical media and are less reliant on the impulses of global media and streaming platforms. Furthermore, physical media formats like VHS and DVDs introduce more friction into young people's lives. Young people are forced to go to a physical store, choose which show they want to purchase, then buy it and bring it home. They can also share VHS and DVDs with others in ways streaming platforms have banned, and watch more communally in groups rather than the default solo watching experience of streaming platforms. So it's exactly what you're talking about. So it's almost like this, we've created this world of isolation through all this digital media that we have. And I think it was only, furthered exponentially during the COVID pandemic. So all that to say, part of what made me want to have this discussion today was the other day, Gray and his friends decided to go to the mall. And my first thought is, oh, that's funny. That's kind of like what kids my age, or, my gen used to do back in the 80s or whatever. And a little while later, he's texting me pictures of two different, get this, vinyl record albums that he was considering purchasing. And he did make the purchase. I'll let him tell you if he wants to do what he got. But I thought, think about this. These kids have every song ever invented right here. I'm holding my phone up in their pockets. And he had an interest in going out and buying a vinyl record because he already has a turntable in his bedroom.
Well, you see, that's cool. He's also comes from a musical family. But Gray, what was that like for you? I mean, did you find it more interesting and more fun to be with a group of people, to actually go physically shopping somewhere as opposed to being online and ordering something? Was it fun to like go into a shop and pick out a record? Like, was it fun for you?
Yeah, absolutely. It honestly starts like my furthest memories back. One of like the earliest things I remember is going to Family Video, I think it is, and just like the kind of vibe that you get from being in there. It's just like it's something that we don't get anymore, specifically with Family Video being shut down completely. But just like going to the mall with my friends and going to look for albums, it's just like kind of an odd experience that you don't get just from like, I mean, you can obviously still buy albums on Apple Music and stuff, but with Spotify and other streaming things, like you don't even have to go through like specifically deciding, am I going to buy this? Like, is this something that I really want to spend my money on? And even if you do, it's like maybe $10 at most for like a digital album. And so deciding to invest on like a $40 record is a lot different. And obviously that's a lot more expensive than it has been in other eras, but just
is that how much it was? Wait a second. Are you
It
kidding?
was a
Or are you
special edition.
serious?
I said the same thing, Laura. It was a special edition record, but he was telling me about he and his friend standing there in this store. I think it's a bookstore that sells records, if I'm not mistaken, debating which album was the best by this particular artist that they were. So they're having this conversation. It was the same conversations I was having as an 18-year-old that I think have gone missing in the last 30 or 35 years. And then what really excited me is when he got it home, he rips it open because he's ready to throw it on the turntable. He opens it up, and what's he do? He pulls out the thing that I've been complaining has been missing for the last 30 years in music, the liner notes with all the lyrics to all the songs. I used to love to put on a record and sit on my beanbag chair and read the lyrics to the songs that I was listening to. And so it's like he's living this as it's something new and novel. I'm like, oh my gosh.
Well, Gray, if it doesn't work out for you at Stephensons, maybe you can open a video and album store, bring back the nostalgia, make your old folks really happy like us. And
maybe Gray's grooving tunes in the back of Stephensons. Huh?
Exactly. And please don't charge us $40. We'll never get over the sticker shock of that. So, but what a wonderful opportunity. And I'm so grateful that you're carrying on the tradition in Elkhart with your amazing family of Stephensons in its 94th, going on 95 years, and just how wonderful to see another Reynolds yet grace the store there, because it is such a wonderful, it's iconic. It's an experience I had as a 5-year-old. Your father will not tell you how old I actually am, but let's just say it's many decades ago. So all congratulations to you for your internship, and I hope your boss treats you nicely.
Me too.
Well, this is a very special edition of the Style File with Danny Reynolds of Stephensons of Elkhart and his son Gray at the moment. We'll be right back after this and more.
Podcasts by Federated Media.